like jazzy elevator music, like 90s era hip hop.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, all right, you know, like Passing Me By the Far Side?
Yeah.
They do like an elevator music cover of Far Side, Pass Me By. Like, they do a lot of like good stuff, and it's just feel good music.
And
you know?
what's one thing we've learned from tonight from Ed? What's one thing you can always not have enough of in any song?
Saxophone.
Thank you.
Saxophone, yeah.
He's got a fever, and the only prescription is more saxophone.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
That is right.
But yeah, it is. When I first heard this, I was like, dude, this is like walking into Ray's shop. Because as you walk in, when you're getting a tattoo, this is what you're listening to. Makes me want to go get more ink right now. Let's go. Pause.
I've been exposed to COVID. More saxophone, Ed.
That's right. More saxophone. That's right.
You don't need to come in.
That's
you
right.
need more
You
saxophone.
need more saxophone. They call you 2 weeks later, 14 days to the dot. I'm fixed.
14 days.
It
You
worked.
wouldn't believe how much saxophone I can get in 14 days.
But then again, can you ever really have enough saxophone?
Take 2 saxes, call me in the morning.
Right.
If that doesn't work, take 2 more.
I need a tenor and an alto.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? If you're, feeling on the lovely side, there's some soprano in there.
There you go.
And if you feel something deep
Little
and
scratchy?
mellow, play
That's
the
right.
berry.
Get the berry.
This station be all over.
It's so weird. Like, it's crazy. RJD2 has a lot of crazy stuff on it, but he's good.
What station is it?
This is Thievery Corporation. That's Wu-Tang right there.
Yeah, it is.
Out of all the saxophones, which one's your favorite? If you had to, take a
Okay.
favorite.
All right. That's such
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Look, you went from stirring the freaking fire to stirring the saxophone fire.
I'll try to keep it
3
simple.
hours later,
The reason why
time
SpongeBob. 2 hours later.
that question is so good, and here's why it's a loaded question. Because last week on Boston Sax Shop on the Monday, when they do their thing, that question was brought up. Someone said to Jack in the master class, he said, and he said, you know what? And this is exactly how I agree with this. And I was like, dude, he hit it on the nail. Okay, in theory, most people associate saxophone as a tenor saxophone. When they associate it, when they hear most songs, as tenor saxophone.
That's the rich.
I think you
Actually,
would agree.
most of the time, I think people associate it with an alto.
Yes. So, I was never a huge fan of alto growing up, unless it was like Coltrane, because I thought, as far as tenor, I didn't like the tone. But Lucas Pino, who's a really famous saxophonist in Boston, and he made a comment. He said, you know what? You can be good at any of the saxophones, but usually any saxophonist will have a bond with a certain saxophone. And he goes, you can be a damn good tenor player, but you know what? You're not going to be people think you're a good tenor player, but if you don't have that bond that you're a tenor player like me, and I get what he meant by that. I don't have that bond. Do I love a tenor? And now I love a tenor. But you know what? I think I'm an alto player. I think my body, what my focus is an alto. But I also love a soprano. But at the same time, I don't know. That's why I've never bought a tenor. So to me, I think an alto has got such a distinct sound, and that's what I connect with. But I think it's you can say you want to be a tenor player, but there's a lot of people that'll play tenor then and be like, no, dude, I don't like an alto. It doesn't work for me. And then you'll hear them play an alto, and you're like, you're right. But then they'll pick up a tenor, and they can destroy a tenor sax because that's what's meant for them. I think certain saxes are meant for certain people. Your type of. So there. I hope that answered your question. Alto.
You know what I love about this? That is us talking about really shitty cars. Like, hey, if I had to pick a really shitty car, 1995 Dutch Neon comes to mind. I mean, you could build a 96, but the 95, now that's really shitty. It was the first model year, and they don't come any shittier than a first model year vehicle.
But again, it's our favorite shitty car.
Right. But if I had to pick a piece of shit, it would be a 95 Dodge Neon.
Okay, Mr. Sax guy, I got another question. Here's one.
Okay.
So here's
That's
the
like how the passion pours out of
no,
him.
and it's just
I love
like
it.
what does it for you with that car? Okay, here's an exact example I will make to that on a saxophone. I'll keep it very simple. You may know this. I don't know how involved you follow actual saxophones themselves. Okay, they consider the #1 saxophone of all time is the Selmer Mark 6. They stopped making them in 1969, okay?
that
They
like the
say it was the most
Stratocaster of-
perfected saxophone ever to this day, has the best tone. I had a chance to buy one. So even now, if you buy one that is beat to shit, an alto beat to shit, Selmer alto sax, you're spending $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. Okay?
I can believe it.
I had a chance to buy one at Chuck Levin's when I went, before I was going to go to music school. My parents were buying me.
Yeah.
They were buying me, before I was going to go to music school, they bought me, they said, you pick a horn, we're paying for it, that's our gift to you. For you to move on in your life, that is our big gift. We're not buying you a car, we'll buy you a saxophone. And I'm like, awesome. So I had a chance there. They had one. The guy said, well, I've got a few I'm going to bring in. And he said, I've got one right now. I'm pretty sure you're not going to use. You walk into this place at Chuck Levin's. If you've never been there, dude, it's an experience. You walk in, they give you your own room, the size of this room. Gorgeous. They walk in with white gloves, these guys, and they will line up 15 saxophones on stands for you.
That's
Every single manufacturer, from Kilsworth to Cannonball to whoever, Boucher, whoever. And he goes, we got one right now. This just came in. He goes, you don't take this, I can show you this instrument will be sold by today. And I'm like, let me guess, you got a Summer Mark 6. He's like, I do. And he's like, and it's actually in very good shape. I played 5 notes on it, put it down, and said, I don't want it. Dude, I picked up the Yamaha Custom Z, and I was like, that's the horn that's going home with me today. And it was half the price. And even though this was a brand new Yamaha, because of the vintage that ended it, dude, so it goes to show you, like you said, the cars. You can tell someone, it's like, just like Scott can say this is the best pull, but if you don't like that style of pull, it's not going to make you happy. It's just like your cars. Some people like Dodge are like, just like BMWs.
Right.
I think they're junk. I'm not a BMW fan at all.
Yeah.
You give me give me my little Toyota. I'll go with my Toyota.
Right.
Just like it's everything in how
What
the
your
individual
passion is and
person
what feels
perceives
good
it.
on you.
Exactly.
It's like in a custom
I'm
tailored
the
suit.
anti-Selmer guy. I'm the like when people started talking about Selmers, they're like, dude, you couldn't buy. They're like, what is wrong? You didn't buy a Selmer Mark. I'm like, no, it was not me. I would have bought that strictly to say I had a Selmer Mark 6 because you can't
Like,
find.
feel it on
and
my
it's-
face. I think I need to
no,
move back a
I'm
little
just-
bit more.
it's the
That's
same
just like
thing.
get back here. I'm cold now. I need to lose a little bit
I'm pro
forward.
You got to get right in the bubble, right on the
I
cusp.
am just like this is too cold for me. Like I do not like cold
I know.
weather.
Nah, me either.
No,
Such
me
a baby.
neither.
Scotty does. We
I
spend many
do.
nights out in the cold.
Yeah.
I love
If I didn't have my trusty,
Oh,
Like
last
that
year.
line, like
When I
anything
said we
worse,
had
I
a
would.
few that night, and I'm
This
like,
is-
and I'm looking right next to like, my chair, man.
But
Isn't my
literally, I
chair
got like the
look lower?
beanie and the glove. I did take
I
that
saw
off.
you had the gloves with the nails cut out, sticking to the tip.
Going down.
I saw that in the house.
Are you sure? You go, no, man, you're fine. And the next thing you know, my ass is like
Yeah, it's like,
concrete.
dude, I think I'm sitting on the ground. I was like,
That was one of the best
yeah.
COVID stories ever, man. When me and him out there had that. Oh
Well,
my god.
Yeah, and we were supposed to be sitting across the street from
Oh
each
yeah,
other.
that's right. That's when we had the fire when no one was driving up and down the road either. That was when we
We
had the
ended up
fire
sitting
in the
in
Put
middle
the
of the
fire pit
fucking
in the
road.
street and then
Yeah,
sit on
right in the-
opposite
What
sides.
was it?
That's
This in the middle of the road?
Oh
or-
yeah, we had one of these in the middle of the road, and the thing
Yeah,
is,
right
not one car.
We'd have
every,
happy hour
did
every
we
night.
ever even have to move it for anybody? I don't think
No.
we even ever
No,
had to
I
move
don't
it.
think people ever even went down. I think they
No.
go around us.
Yeah,
Right.
people would come and drive by and laugh.
Roads closed, pizza boy. Find another way home.
We did what we started. We went across the street. I'd go over. I'd get wood. I'd bring them wood, set it out there, and then he'd put it in the fire, start the fire. It was great. We'd have it right in the middle of our house, like between Scott's and our, right there, that road right in front.
That's so slick, man.
Like this time last year, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
it
we
was.
didn't really
A year
hang
ago.
out until this time last year.
Like yeah, we did, but not like to that extent.
Yeah.
Not to that
all of a
extent.
sudden
Right.
it's like, well, you're
then
all
we
I
got
can
really
talk
close.
to.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
How are
exactly
ya?
right.
Well, that's when we got to know like everybody,
Yeah.
like Chris and all that.
Yeah, it's
Well,
true.
Paula started the
This-
food trucks. And
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Look back
It's
now.
crazy.
Yeah,
Now
that's
you're not
that's
seeing
really
any of these
cool.
people
It is
anymore.
super
Now
cool.
Hey, I just can't wait till we can
Yeah.
get to one because
Yeah.
we're
Kinda
such
sad.
ridiculous
You know
foodies.
Oh, you'll
So,
love it.
oh.
Every
Yeah, we met
freaking Friday.
everybody. We were
Every
meeting, like,
Friday.
all these people.
Shit, it was
And
pizza
now
this
it's
past
like-
Friday, Reagan.
Now you
Like,
see 'em
it was
in the-
pizza.
the-
Because
Yeah,
they
they
brought
was
leftovers.
good.
Yeah,
I
oh
didn't
yeah,
have
they're
it this
focused
time,
on
but
they're
I've
going
had
to
it
the
before.
little
It's
Jimmy
really
soccer
good.
game.
Yeah, yeah.
No, every week though it is.
Crazy how it just
Something
took
different,
right
though.
back
That's
like
good.
that. Like,
Yeah, it's so nice to be out and living life like this with COVID out of the way. I miss doing stuff like this,
Yeah.
all the time.
It's funny what you miss when you ain't got it.
It
man.
is
But you
exactly like you lose it and then you regain it and you realize just how much you missed it.
But I don't think that I knew that I was missing this before COVID.
yeah.
Well,
Right.
Like, I feel like
Because you
this
got
made
accustomed
this
to it.
back.
No,
Oh, it was
exactly.
comfortable.
It totally did.
You got comfortable with what you had, and then once it's gone and you don't have it, you're not allowed to
Well,
do
you know
it
what you
anymore.
weren't doing
Yeah,
then?
that sucks.
You weren't living in the moment.
Yep.
Now you're living in the moment.
Yep.
And that's the difference.
And I think
that made everybody slow down
That's
for a
what
minute and say,
makes
dude, the world
COVID
is going
kind
to
of a
survive.
blessing. You know what I mean?
That's what Ed and I would
We
talk
me and him
about
had
all
this
the
discussion. I said, I guarantee there's people that probably want to punch us in the face. Me and him have had this discussion so many times. We're like, you
We
know
didn't have
what?
anybody die.
COVID,
Like, I mean, you
Right.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, we didn't have
COVID
that
was a
experience.
good.
Yes.
COVID was a blessing in my opinion. in
For
some
the
ways.
entire world.
It totally it did. I think it made everybody.